All right, today we're going to talk about a word you probably use every single day, maybe dozens of times, without even thinking about it. It's so common, it's practically invisible. But you're about to see that its very simplicity is what makes it so incredibly important.
And that word is through. Yeah, I know. It seems super basic. But we're putting this little word under a microscope today because, believe it or not, its story tells us something huge about the very architecture of the English language.
So that really gets us to the big question for today's explainer. What is it that makes a simple word like through not just common, but truly essential? To really get at its hidden importance, we've got to start with the basics, right? The stuff we all think we already know about it. So, here's the dictionary definition, straight from our source material. It's a preposition, and it means from one end or side of something to the other. Pretty straightforward, yeah? It's all about movement, about getting from point A to point B.
And you see this in action constantly. The ink went through the paper. A thief got in through the window. You push a thread through the eye of a needle. We use it all the time, totally instinctively, to explain how things move in the world.
Okay, but this is where it gets really, really interesting. That simple everyday job is kind of a disguise for a much bigger role it's playing. This isn't just any word. It's a very special kind of word.
You can think of it like this. This common little word has a hidden resume, and it is packed with some seriously impressive qualifications that make it stand out from like tens of thousands of other words.
So here's our first clue. Our source material points out that through is one of the 1,000 most common headwords. Now that alone puts it in a pretty elite club of words we lean on the most.
But wait, it gets even more exclusive. It's also on something called the Basic English 850 list. And this isn't just about how often we use it. This is a hand-picked, curated list of the absolute most essential functional words in the entire language.
Okay, so we're hearing all these labels, right? Most common, basic English, but what do they actually mean? What do these special tags really tell us about what this word does?
All right, let's break it down. Let's decode these labels and really figure out the job that through is doing for all of us.
So if you look at how linguists see this word, it's wearing a bunch of different hats. It's on that B850 list, it's a top headword, it's a preposition, a particle, and it even has a homophone. It's a real multi-tool. So let's look at its main job title, preposition. A preposition is basically the GPS for a sentence. It connects things. It shows the relationship between a person or an object and the other words, telling us where or when or how. It gives our sentences direction. And what about that homophone tag? Well, that's just a fancy way of saying there's another word that sounds exactly the same but has a totally different meaning. In this case, through, our preposition, sounds just like through, as in the past tense of to throw. He threw the ball. Super common mix-up, but a really important difference.
So, we've decoded the labels on its resume. Now, let's zoom out and look at the really big picture here. Why does having a special list of words that includes through even matter in the first place?
Remember this number? 850. That basic English list has just 850 words on it. And the whole idea behind it is kind of wild. It's that with just these 850 words, you can express almost any everyday idea you need to.
What that means is that words like through aren't just common, they are literally foundational. They are the essential building blocks of how we communicate. Think of them like Lego bricks. You can build almost anything with them if you know how to put them together.
And that right there is the key takeaway. It's not the big, fancy, complicated words that form the skeleton of English. Nope. It's the simple, hard-working words like through that create the entire blueprint for how we talk to each other. They provide the structure that everything else gets built on. So the next time you use a simple little word, just pause for a second and appreciate all the heavy lifting it's doing. It kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other essential building blocks of our language are just hiding out there, right in plain sight?